everybody, Cinema Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today, once again, headed out to Jake's Flea Market in Bartow, Pennsylvania, where I picked myself up a bunch of great titles, so let's take a look at what I got. The first title I picked up today I actually got for absolutely free, and that was Mitch Hedberg, Mitch Altogether. And how I ended up getting this for free is I picked it up to look at it, took out the disc. Unfortunately, the disc was scratched, and for that reason, I wasn't going to buy it. I do not buy scratched discs. The lady who was selling it said, "Oh, aren't you going to get that?" I said, "No, unfortunately, the disc is pretty scratched up. I'm going to have to pass." She said, "Oh, it's scratched? Well, you can just have it then." So, like I said, I would usually never buy a scratched disc, but for free, I figured, what the hell, I'll take it. Haven't tested it out yet, not sure if it's going to play right or not, but again, for free, I figured I'd take it. Then for $1, I picked up the soundtrack to The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now this here's a Disney movie that I just never really got into. For me, the Disney movies that I grew up with were things like Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, titles like that. Once things like Pocahontas, Mulan, Hunchback, titles like that came out, I was a little bit too old for Disney at that time, and I just never really got into those movies. Obviously, later on in my life, now when I started to collect again and really get into movies, I certainly did start to get into these movies more, but these never were my favorite Disney titles. My favorites are still the classics that I grew up with, but it is still a great movie. I do absolutely love this one, so I definitely had to get the soundtrack. Then I picked up Whip It on Blu-ray, a title that I do already have on DVD, but I do really enjoy this movie, so I figured I would upgrade. I originally thought the guy was asking $2 for this because it was mixed in with a bunch of $2 DVDs. Unfortunately though, once he saw that it was a Blu-ray, he wanted $4 for it. I said, never mind then, I really don't need to have this movie on Blu-ray. He said, well, how about $3? I said, yeah, okay, fine, $1 extra, not a big deal. So I definitely want to pick it up, love the movie, I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching it in high def. Now on to all the $2 titles I picked up, and the first one was actually a PVD for the Video Now. This here being a Nickelodeon Collection, Volume 4, comes with episodes of Fairly Odd Parents, Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, and SpongeBob SquarePants. 3 shows absolutely love, and I certainly love adding titles to my PVD collection. Then I picked up Modern Marvel's Golden Gate Bridge. I love this series. Modern Marvels is a fantastic show. I absolutely love it, and anytime I catch it on History Channel, I always watch it. I love how one minute they'll be talking about something big like the Golden Gate Bridge, and then the next minute they'll be talking about how they make marbles. It's such a crazy show how they go from one extreme to the other. You learn how they make some of the most random and obscure things sometimes, and then it's just a great, great watch. So for $2, had to pick it up. Then I picked up R2-D2 Beneath the Dome. Now this title was actually there last time I was at Jake's. It was the same guy selling it. When I saw it last time, I thought about picking it up, but I ended up passing on it. Thought later on probably should have actually grabbed it. So today, when I came across it again, definitely had to pick it up. Looks to be interesting, and I can't wait to check it out. Then I picked up 2 Ernest movies, and those were Ernest in the Army and Ernest Goes to Jail. Now these here are the original Touchstone and Lionsgate releases. Now even though I do already have these movies through Mill Creek, I do prefer to actually own the original releases, as they are better transfers. As much as I enjoy the fact that Mill Creek is releasing some more obscure titles that would probably not be being released if not for Mill Creek, I really do appreciate that, and I love them for that. Their transfers are usually pretty shoddy. It's just the picture quality is not all that great, and I do recommend if you can get the original releases, it is worth picking them up. So for $2 a piece, figured I'd grab them. I am still going to keep my Mill Creek releases, but I'm very happy to have these as well. Next I grabbed Bewitched. Now this is a title that I have seen before. I saw this back when it first came out. The wife and I rented it, and I remember not really enjoying it all that much. But to be completely honest, I kind of forget what it was really about. I mean, obviously I know the basic premise of the movie, but I forget really what happens in it. I really don't remember much about the film at all. I don't remember why I disliked it so much. So I figured for $2, I'd pick it up, give it another watch. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember. I don't know, maybe it is as bad as I remember. But still, I figured for $2, I pick it up and see it again. Then I grabbed The Brothers McMullen. This here is a title that I do come across quite often in flea markets, pawn shops, thrift stores, but I always pass it up, not because I think it looks bad, but just because I'm not really sure if it's a title that's going to interest me at all. So today I figured I'd finally pick it up, check it out, see if I like it, and for $2, figured it was a good deal. And then I saved what I personally feel is the best for last, a movie I've wanted to get my hands on for years now, and that was the original 3:10 to Yuma. This here's a movie I've wanted to see ever since I saw the remake. Really enjoyed the remake, thought it was a very, very good movie, and I had heard fantastic things about the original, so it's a movie I've definitely wanted to get my hands on, and I've wanted to check out. But unfortunately, every time I come across this used, I usually find it for pretty decent prices used, the disc is always scratched. And the occasional few times I have come across it used where the disc is in good shape, they're always asking way too much for it. And of course, anytime I've seen this new, still factory seal, it's always been way too expensive. So I've always had to pass up on it every time I've come across it. Really been bugging me because I wanted this for, like I said, years now. So today when I came across it with a disc that is in perfect shape for only $2, I definitely had to grab it. And I cannot wait to finally check this one out. So that's it for what I bought today, so now on to what I watched. And today I was very excited to check out my first ever full-length UMD, and that was The Legend of Zorro. As you guys know, yesterday I checked out The Mask of Zorro, and in that review I said it was a mediocre film, but it was an enjoyable film. It was just a mediocre popcorn action movie, but it was fun, and I would recommend it if you are into popcorn action movies. It was pretty decent. Unfortunately, Legend of Zorro, it is a mediocre follow-up to a mediocre film. So, with that being said, I'm pretty sure you guys know what you're going to get yourself into here. It's not all that great of a movie. But with that being said, I wouldn't say it was a horrible movie either. It was just okay. If you enjoyed the first one, I would say it is worth checking out because it wasn't horrible. Had some decent action scenes, some more good sword fighting. The story was okay. I did like that it was more or less a direct continuation. That was always good. But again, it wasn't nearly as much fun as the first movie, and that's kind of what I liked about the first movie. The first movie was fun. Maybe mediocre, but still fun nevertheless. This one I didn't really feel that it was as much fun. The story maybe seemed a little bit more serious, more so than the first one in a weird sort of way. So I really didn't get a lot of fun out of it. The most fun I had was probably the last scene really takes place mostly on a train. It's a speeding train full of nitroglycerin. That's kind of a cool scene. I did enjoy the last scene. That was the most fun I had with the movie. But I would say if you've seen the first one and you like the first one, it is worth seeing because it's not horrible by any means. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It is worth a watch. And again, I would say check it out. In fact, I would say if you own the first movie and you like it, it's worth picking up. If you come across it for cheap, I'd say $2. Grab it, add to your collection. It is an okay continuation, just not the best story. I do think they could have done a better job, but a story that takes place, or should I say a story that was done that many years later. I mean, this came out in 2005, so it was done a decent amount of years after the first one. I guess I'm not really sure why they chose to go this way. They could have done a better story. They had all that time to write a story. They probably could have done something better, but I guess maybe they just forced it out. They just wanted to make some money off the success that the first one was. That's what I'm assuming anyway. So, in the end, mediocre. It was okay, and I would really only recommend it to those who were a fan of the first one. So that's it for what I bought when I watched today. Definitely excited about the titles I picked up and all the great deals I got today from Jake's. I love heading out there. And also watching Legend of Zorro. Well, first of all, I'd say I'm very happy that I finally got around to watching Mask of Zorro and Legend of Zorro. Those have been two titles I wanted to see for years now. Titles I've had within my collection for years now, but I just never got around to watching. So I was very excited to finally sit down and watch those. But in the end, Legend of Zorro was just a mediocre follow-up to what is a mediocre movie. So nothing all that great, and I would really only recommend it to those who are a big fan of the first one. If you really did enjoy Mask of Zorro, it is worth checking out, and if you get it for cheap, I would say even worth adding to the collection, but in the end, wasn't nearly as good. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya.